Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know what the UCAT is, it's a test that most universities use to determine which students they should accept into their medical program. The test is 2 hours long and it has 5 different components to it. So the components are verbal reasoning, decision making, quantitative reasoning, abstract reasoning and situational judgment. The testing period in Australia in 2022 is from the 1st of July to the 12th of August, meaning that there is around a month or two from this point on for you to study. And although the people who make the UCAT suggest that there's no real knowledge needed to do complete the questions and do the test, I do definitely recommend that you use the time that you have now to do as many practice questions as you can, because it's pretty unlikely that you'll be competitive with other people who are doing the test if you decide to wing it. So in today's video, I'll be covering my general approach that I used when I did the test in 2019. And this video I'll specifically talk about the verbal reasoning component of the test, just because that was the section that I did the best in back when I did the test. So yeah, in this video I'll go through one of each type of question that you could encounter in the verbal reasoning section. And just feel free to pause the video whenever you want, just to read the text that I put on the screen and potentially attempt to answer the question before I go through it myself. So before I start, I'll give you a few general tips that I followed when I did the test. And basically these tips help you to cut down the time that you spend on each question, and it also helps you to correctly interpret the questions so you get less incorrect responses. So the first tip, which I found really useful, would be to scan keywords in the question first before you start reading the main body of text. So the reason I found it useful is because it helps prime you to look for the key components in the main body of text, and it helps you to, cut down time. So you don't have to read the text first and then go to the question and then go back to the text, because you already know what you're looking for. And once you find the keyword from the question, you find it in the text, and then you read a little bit above and a little bit below it, just to get the right context for the way that keyword's presented. And in that way, you'll be able to answer the question pretty much all the time. So the second tip that I suggest would be to not use any outside information that you already have when you're reading the question. So for example, if the main body of text says that smoking is the best thing you can possibly do for your health, you should accept that as being the truth, even though in real life we know that it's basically the opposite of that. Yeah, so if you bring in that prior knowledge, you're bound to get the question wrong, because that's not what the text was talking about. And I guess a third tip would be to, when you're reading the question, make sure you take note of any extreme words like always or never, because especially in the true, false and can't tell style of question, these statements are pretty easy to prove or disprove by quickly reading the text. And my final tip would be to remember that every question, regardless of how long the text is or how many questions are associated with the text, every question is only worth 1 point each. If you come across a massive pile of text, or a piece of text which is really complicated with all this long scientific language, it could be worth it to just flag that question and guess, and then move on to a potentially easier question. Just because some questions in the test are designed to waste your time, and since you only have 20 or so minutes to answer all these questions, it's good to just get to the easy ones first, and then once you have any extra time, you can go back and attempt those harder questions. So I'll switch to my laptop screen now. I'll do a couple questions from what I found on the internet, and I'll just talk through how I interpret these questions. And yeah, again, just feel free to pause the video when I get to the question, just so you can have your have a go as well. So the website I'm using today to do these practice questions is called MedicMind, and I've done a few questions. This wasn't around when I was doing the UCAT, but yeah, I found these questions today, and I've done a few before this video. and I think they're pretty good. They break up each of the sections into like bite-sized chunks. So I guess the first, we'll do true, false, can't tell sort of questions first. So we'll read the question first. So we got displaying gambling ads during live sporting events is currently permitted. So true, false, or can't tell. So the key word is live sporting events. So we're not going to read the whole body of text here. We're just going to look for live sporting events. So yeah, so here we go, live sporting events. So it says a ban on gambling ads during live sporting events should be imposed. They won, because it allows bookmakers to reach young viewers who are otherwise protected from such temptations. So is this true, false, or can't tell? Is it currently permitted? So this text suggests that it is currently permitted, because the fact that it should be imposed means that the law hasn't come into effect yet. So I'm going to go with true. Gambling ads, live sporting events is currently permitted. So the cross-party group includes members of both the Labour and Tory parties. So look for cross-party, that's the key word. So cross-party group. It's made of MPs and peers. Okay? And we'll see if it mentions Labour or Tory anywhere in these paragraphs. So there we go, we got Tory minister. So it does have Tories in the group, but does it have Labour? So it doesn't actually mention Labour. So as a result, it probably does have Labour in the cross-party, but we cannot tell based on the information that we've been given. So we have to choose cannot tell. So the main point of comparison between gambling companies and tobacco firms is the relative ease with which young people can become hooked. So this one's a little bit harder. There's not much keywords you can look for. So we've got tobacco firms here. And so basically the general idea is the relative ease in which young people can become hooked. So we know in real life that both gambling and tobacco is addictive. It's easy to become addicted to. But with this with this text here, I'm going to go with false. Because it's kind of talking about, so in general, they're similar. And they want similar laws, but it doesn't really talk about how they both cause addiction at all, or the ease in which people can be addicted. So I'm going to go with false. And this question, so the group is particularly critical of news channels on TV that display betting ads. So news channels would be the keyword here. Seen adverts disguised as news articles used to direct people to betting sites, and tips is allowed to earn commission by making long shots. So the cross-party group criticised gambling ads that look like news articles, but there's no particular news channels that they're mentioning. So I think this question should also be false as well. So that's a true and false, true, false, can't tell sort of question. And these sorts of questions tend to make up a large majority of what the verbal reasoning section is about. So if we just end exam. So this website's pretty cool because it gives you what keywords there are, and it gives you a bit of an explanation as well. Let's try scientific questions out. There we go. So we'll read the question first. So which of the following is the most common feature of most tumour cells according to the passage? So not all tumour cells, most tumour cells, and most common feature. So according to the passage, so we got some stuff here. Let's read it real quick. So look, here we go. We now know that genome instability and altered metabolism are two common characteristics of most tumour cells. So altered metabolism would probably be the most correct answer in this case. Okay. So which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Okay. So Otto Warburg observed massive genome instability in cancer. So Otto Warburg observed different energy metabolisms from different cells, animal cells. So he was talking about metabolism. He wasn't talking about genome instability. So it's probably not A. Fumarate and succinate are not similar to AKG. Okay, so keywords AKG. So lots of brackets down here. We've got 2HG, AKG's here. So we've got fumarate and we've got succinate here. Succinate. So these three small molecules are often referred to as oncometabolites because their accumulation boosts human development and so they are structurally similar to AKG. So it's not that one because they are similar. IDH1 dysfunction causes accumulation of fumarate. So we've got IDH1, high levels of this stuff. So it doesn't mention fumarate, so it's not C. So D, in tumours, genome instability has more frequently been studied than altered metabolism. Well, we've already ruled out all these three, so it's probably D. There's more. So yeah, if you think so another tip would be to, if you're unsure, cross out the things that you can definitely rule out, and if you're running out of time, you can guess. And since you've crossed out these things already, your chances of guessing the correct answer has gone from like 25%. But if you cross these two out, it's between A and D, and that means you have a 50% chance of guessing the correct answer. But in this case, I think we've already cut out A, B, and C, so I'm pretty sure D is the correct answer in this case. So which of the following cannot be inferred from the passage? Okay, so keywords, this guy's name. Direct link between altered metabolism, genome instability caused by DNA damage. So that's true. So you can't be A. So A ketoglutarate is required for part of the Krebs cycle. Oh boy, it's part of the Krebs cycle, so that can be inferred. So it's not B. So oncometabolites must boost tumor development to be considered as such. So oncometabolites, because their accumulation boosts tumor development. Okay. Don't know if it's must be, so yeah, could be C. Don't know if you can infer it from the passage. Fumarate hydratase mutations can cause succinate to build up. So D is not true in this case, because it says here that fumarate hydratase and this succinate dehydrogenase cause cells to accumulate high levels of molecules fumarate and succinate respectively, which means that fumarate causes, so this enzyme here causes fumarate to accumulate, not succinate, like the thing says. So D is the correct answer in this case. Yep, so again we got the answers here, and it gives you a nice definition and some nice explanation of why A is the correct answer, and you got that for the other two questions we answered as well. So we'll get out of this now, and we'll go to, let's try out an author question. So this is more like an opinion piece, so these ones can be a little bit difficult, so we'll give ourselves extra time here. So one of the things I learned is to, especially with opinion pieces in this case, is to read the first sentence and to read the last sentence, just to get a general understanding of what the text is about. But first we read the question first. So, which of the following opinions is expressed by the author? Okay. So we know, from prior knowledge, we know that this is not true, but we can't use prior knowledge in this case. So let's read the first sentence. So one of the most popular, enduring, and irritating myths about depression is that it means depressed people are sad all the time, and that by extension, people who are happy can't be experiencing depression, even if they say they are. So automatically we can cross out B, because the author is saying that even though you can seem happy on the outside, you can have depression. So it's not B. Okay, and we'll read the last bit here. So various behaviours are not proof positive that someone is or isn't depressed. And as with any armchair diagnosis, insisting that someone is not actually depressed just because of a show of something other than deep entrenched sadness is actively harmful. I think C is looking pretty good in this case. So I'm going to click C for now, and so in the test you can flag if you're unsure. So I think, yeah, it's C, I think, because it says, as with any armchair diagnosis, it's actively harmful. So according to the author, based on their opinion, armchair diagnoses are not useful. I think that's a general gist of what this person's talking about. And here we go, second question. Which of the following would the author most likely agree with? So depression is variable because of biological processes. I haven't seen the word biological in any of these paragraphs, so I'm probably not going to go with A. So B, it is always harmful to assess behaviours of a depressed patient. It's kind of not the vibe I'm getting from this paragraph. So the opinion is that basically depression can express itself in various ways, but it's not saying that like assessing a person's behaviour is harmful. So, and also using the word always is one of the key things which you can use to rule out this answer, because it's very easy to disprove, because always means 100% of the time it's harmful to assess behaviour, which from this text is not the case. So depressed people do not have to be sad. That's a general thing I'm getting from this. I don't know. It does say that, it's saying that depression doesn't have to make you feel sad all the time, but then it's saying that there's different levels of sadness depending on the individual. So it could be C, but we'll check what D is about. So friends are an important factor to how an individual may feel about their depression. So keyword is friends. We'll go through this. Okay, we got friendly. Okay, we go friend. Above all, I experience moments of happiness, a flash of delight as I'm walking on the beach with a friend, and the sun is perfect and the breeze is just right. Yeah, so I think D is the best answer in this case. We'll go, a flag. See, when you flag something, as you can see, it gives you like a notification. So in the real test, before you submit it and go on to the next section, you can review all the questions that you've answered. And yeah, flags will show up. So we've done author, done true, false, can't tell. Let's do reverse question. These seem to be pretty good. Yeah, I'll give myself extra time. I wish I had the extra time in the real test, but oh well, let me click on it. It's not working. No. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties here. Okay, let's just do, no extra time, fine. Which of the following statements cannot be inferred from the text? Alright, cannot be inferred. So, Salinger did not enjoy fame. So, okay, Salinger is one of the first words here. Famous for not wanting to be famous. Is it lived reclusively for more than 50 years? So I think that can be inferred that he didn't enjoy fame. So A is not the correct answer because we can infer it. And Catcher in the Rye sells 250,000 e-books a year. 250,000. So we'll look for 250,000. Oh, here we go, 250,000 copies a year. But, so yeah, Okay, so the answer is B, because so the question is mentioning a quarter. So that Catcher in the Rye sells 250,000 e-books a year, whereas the text here just mentions 250,000 copies. So it doesn't specifically mention e-books. So we cannot infer that it sells 250,000 e-books, because there's not enough information in the passage to suggest that. So that's all the questions I'm going to do today. The UCAT is not exactly my idea of a good time, but I'm currently on university holidays and I'll try to pump out more videos for the other sections of the UCAT. You know, just to give the people, you guys, what they want. So before I end the video, I'll just summarize what we actually covered. So there is a few different types of verbal reasoning questions. So we covered true, false, can't tell. We covered some scientific based questions. We covered some opinion pieces. And we covered some reverse questions. So like the things that you cannot infer from the passage of text. I'll link the website that I used in the video description so you can go to it and practice those questions in your own time. And if you want even more questions, you can go to the official UCAT website and also this website called Past Medicine. So I'll link both of those websites in the description as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you found this stuff useful at all. But other than that, I'll see you guys around for the next video. So see you later.